In this video, we're going to briefly discuss regulation of natural monopolies. Natural monopoly is one in which the long-run average cost curve is downward sloping in the entire relevant range of production. And if long-run average costs are decreasing, we know long-run marginal cost must be below long-run average cost, because if the long-run marginal cost curve was above the average cost curve, it would be pulling up average cost. So we know that in the case of a natural monopoly, it's more efficient to allow firms to exist as a monopoly because trying to enforce competition would raise prices for consumers. If the monopoly is not regulated, it produces where MR equals MC. In this case, that would be at an output level of QM, and the price is given by the demand curve at a price of PM. So the monopoly left to itself would receive economic profits equal to the shaded blue rectangle. But suppose the government were to try to regulate prices. One approach is to try using a marginal cost pricing system. And if price is set to marginal cost, we need to find the point on the demand curve where price equals marginal cost. That occurs in this diagram at a quantity of Q sub MC, and the price would be P sub MC. Now, the problem with this, though, is that since this is a natural monopoly, marginal costs are below average costs, and if the government tried to impose this, the owners of the firms would be experiencing an economic loss, and they wouldn't be willing to stay in the industry without a subsidy. And raising taxes to cover that would also induce economic inefficiencies. So in general, this approach by itself tends not to be used. Even though in some ways this is the most efficient, it requires some other way of raising the funds to cover the losses that these firms would be experiencing. A common solution to this is to use something called average cost pricing, also known as fair rate of return pricing. And that is to set the price at a level where the price equals average cost. In this case, that would occur where the average cost curve intersects the demand curve, which occurs at an output level of Q sub AC and a price of PAC. The advantage of this over the unregulated price is that there's an improvement in efficiency and less deadweight loss, and we end up eliminating monopoly profits. So the owners of the firm will receive zero economic profits, which is the same as what they could get in some other industry, and we end up with significantly lower prices and more output being consumed by the consumers of this utility.